Good night, my people. Blessings, blessings, my lovely people, my family. Blessings on another evening of the All Over It podcast. Tonight, February 2nd. We in another month already. No? February 2nd, 2026. Yes, yes, yes. God bless. Yeah, welcome to another episode of the All Over It podcast. Episode 40. Yeah, we creeping up there, boy. Just now we're gonna be 50. Just now we're gonna be 100. Yeah, yeah. I woke up, blessing, big up yourself. My cousin in the chat. Blessings. Welcome and thank you. Thank you for the support. And yeah, like I say, episode 40 right now. We climbing up, we creeping up, we climbing the ladder. Yeah. We are ascending, transcending, all those good stuff. I really have to give a genuine thanks for all the love and feedback I get back from last week's episode in particular. The love for sure about the podcast on a whole has been real. But yeah, I have to acknowledge one thing I'll say, real resonates with real, you know? Like they say, real people do real things, and the real does attract and connect with the real. Like I just say, like God have a funny way of bringing your tribe in your life, bringing a team to you. But one thing, I have to really express appreciation for you watching, for taking the time out for this community that we're building, you know, the messages, the quiet support, the people who may be watching but ain't commenting, or watching every week, but maybe I ain't hearing you. But, love and blessings self. Appreciate the love and support. Good night, Carol. Appreciate you for jumping on. You don't know. Nice seeing you today, self. But yeah, last week episode was real. It was grounded. And one thing I could say, I felt the love from last week's episode. If you won't see it, all the episodes, everything is available on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that YouTube stuff. Yeah. But yeah, one thing I'll say, I don't take it lightly that people tune in and really listen. Like, some people, they reach out to me, or when they see me, they talk to me about, like, let me say, things that I discuss in the podcast episodes. And let me say, like, you could tell that people really listening. Like, maybe they ain't commenting or you won't seeing them actively there, but they are. It's for real. So I just have to really show my appreciation, my love, and just acknowledge that love and support that been received. Check. One thing I have to mention from now, from Ollie, next week episode is going to be a big one. I telling you, you don't want to miss it. As you know, I tell you all the time, tell a friend to tell a friend. Next week episode is going to be a big one. I'm going to be having an interview next week, and I'm going to be interviewing Ife Badijo from Islandpreneur. Yeah. And we're going to be talking a lot of different topics. I ain't want to give out all the details right now. But later on, at the end of the episode, I can give some more information for sure. But just know, next week, big episode, Me, Ife, Badajo, right here, all over it podcast. Yeah, we all over it. We uncovering it all. Yeah. So I can dive right into things. Yeah, you see, no spoilers. we can dive right into things. And I can talk about when things get heavy. You check. One thing I could say, growth isn't always exciting, you know, and purpose doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it feels heavy. Sometimes it comes with resistance. You check, real talk. When you start walking in your purpose, resistance does show up, not to stop you, but to test you. Hear me good. You check, I say it again. When you start walking in your purpose, resistance does show up, not to stop you, but to test you. To test you to see if you really built for that. To test you to see if you have what it takes to go down that road, to go down that journey. One thing for sure, when you decide, you set out on an intention, distraction does follow. Like Myron Golden, a YouTuber and business expert I does listen to very often. He says very often, distraction follows intention. When you set out on a path, all type of things could come in your way and try to obstruct you, try to resist you, try to oppress you, keep you down. You check? When you set out an intention, distraction must follow. Understand? This is how, like, principle. This is a worldly principle. It ain't just like talking. This is like with everything. If you decide, you know what, I want to exercise, I want to get fit, I'm going to start exercising, going to the gym. Even if you say you're going to the gym, you're going to do your own. Yeah. Even if you say you're going to do your own exercising in the comfort of your home. Let me say you decide, you know what? I can start out by doing daily push-ups. Every day, consistent. I can be consistent on my daily push-ups. When you start exercising, the first couple days, your body feel aching, pain. But if you push through, if you keep going, you're going to reach to a point whereas the pain going to start to lessen. You're going to reach to a point whereas, let me say you start with maybe 20 push-ups. After a week, a few weeks, you'll notice, man, that 20 push-ups ain't doing nothing no more. I got to do more now. Now I got to do 50. Then 100. Whenever you set out on a purpose, something must try to push you back, give you some type of resistance. Even your car now. Understand it. Look, down to your car. When you get into your car and you put it in drive and you press gas, there is resistance pushing on that car. That car have to give acceleration to push it forward, else it ain't moving forward. It's the same with everything. So when you decide, you know what, I intend to do this. Let me say you want to do a project. Maybe you want to build something, whether it's a house, a room, whatever it be. You decide, you know what, I can go get these material. I can build this up. I've been saying I'm going to do this. Let me do it. Now you start up. Maybe you get some way through. You realize by something you thought you had, you don't have it. Now that stop the process. That stop your motion. But what? You go get it back on motion. You know? It's the same. You start on a intention, but something along the way must come and try to distract you. You check? So tonight, I ain't come here to talk about no complaining or ain't about complaining. It's about perspective, and I want to share that by sharing, let me say, a personal, my week, my personal experience over this week, you know. And yes, like Ray say, even Christ get tested. Who we be? Yeah, facts. So one thing else, this past week was demanding. A lot of work. Had some pushback, some moments that tested my patience and resolve. You know, I wouldn't go into details about these things, and I don't need to because I know I'm not the only one who felt like that. I sure each of you listening could say sometime in your life, maybe even recently, you had a time whereas things was just demanding, very demanding. And maybe you set out on a path, whether at work, you decide, you know what, you're going to work on something, and something or somebody try obstruct you or keep you back, some type of pushback, you know. And I know for sure all of us could attest to having moments that tested our patience and resolve. I don't have to question that, and yeah, for me this week it was exactly that, between back and forth, going looking for different things, looking for material, purchasing equipment, all type of different things, and then actually doing like manual the structural work, literally building structures with my two hands. Yeah, feel good, feel proud to say like, yeah, I do that. But yeah, like I say, in life, when you set out on a path, set out on a journey, you'd get speed bumps, you'd get sometimes some stumbling blocks and things, but is what you do, is how you push forward, how you get back up and find a way to overcome those obstacles, you know? Like I say, I know I'm not the only one who felt like this, you know, feeling like a heavy emotional weight, mental fatigue. For sure, the temptation to react versus remain calm. and compose. Check. Yeah, all of us, all of us been there. But that's a part of life. And all of that is to show us that we're doing something. You know, like I said this week, like I said the other day, if people ain't talking about you, that means you ain't doing nothing. You know, like when people talking about you, that mean you're active, you're in motion, something going on. You don't idle, you just loafing and just wasting time. You know, you're making things happen, you're doing things, and people seeing it. You check. So one thing, sometimes resistance is seen like end of the world. Let me say it like that. But if we reframe resistance as a teaching moment, it could be a very powerful thing. You know, one thing I'd say, resistance often does appear when you're leveling up. You check, like when you stepping out of your comfort zone, when you moving into another level of yourself, when you learning yourself better, when you, like I say, reach into a better understanding of self and just bettering yourself and bettering your life, period. Resistance often appears when you're leveling up. And one thing I'll say to add to that, pressure isn't punishment, and pushback isn't always opposition. Sometimes it's confirmation. See, like I say, is to show you your idol, is confirmation to show you that you're on the right path, that you actually really are living in your purpose. For me, if nothing was pushing back, I'll be more worried. Yeah, real talk. Opposition doesn't mean that you're wrong or you're on the wrong path. Sometimes it means you're right. Sometimes it means you're doing the right thing, and especially when you're in your season of execution, like how I talked about last week, you know, you gotta expect the pushback. You gotta expect, like they say, expect the unexpected, but you gotta expect that things gonna come in your path and try to be an obstruction. But for me, personally, I know I living in my purpose. I know I doing what I gotta do, what God intend me to do. And because of that, I know nothing ain't gonna stop me. So when any adversity, any oppression, opposition, any type of limitation or anything that try to stop the motion coming away, I'm more sorry for it than me. Let me tell you like that. Like, like I had to say, like a getaway train, a runaway train, can't stop it. If you get in front of a train that run away, it can just run you over. Off not. You tell me in the chat if I right or if I wrong. Check. So my mentality right now, conquering lion spirit. I come in like a getaway train, like a runaway train self. So it's either you get with it, either you jump on a train or you get run over. Yeah, straight up. Straight up. Straight up. See, look, facts. Yeah. Yeah, OG. Facts. You check. I look. Nowadays, I laugh in the face at boss. When something come and try to stop me, I laugh. Because they checking by. You don't even know. God with me. You can't stop me. Yeah. And really and truly, in like the most non-arrogant, most humble way, possible, but just facts of the matter. Like with God, all things are possible. And one thing I could say from last week's episode, how I talk about season of execution and how I executing my plans, things that I've been saying I want to do. The check. Distraction follows intention. You're doing what you say you want to do long time. You're checking, look, you got a plan, you're going to execute it. You've been saying you got this plan. Instead of just saying you want to do it, you're going to do it. Yeah, we're doing it. Okay. When you start up, that's how it'll be. You start to see things that maybe you didn't foresee. Things I gotta fix, things I gotta change, things I gotta alter. All that's part of it. But what? One thing I could say, this specific journey I on right now, from before now, I know God and I know how powerful He is. But this journey right now, I Lord, like you ever felt like everything just falling into place, like just how it's supposed to, when it's supposed to? You ever felt like I just say like Tetris, like Tetris, the game where like the thing not come and you gotta get it in the right angle to, break it away good. Like everything just falling in line and just, but like envision this, imagine this. Imagine you climbing a stairs and as you put your foot up to step on the step come. Put in like so now imagine now it's like you climbing into thin air, right? You're with me, right? It's like you just climbing into the sky, right? Good. But it's like every time you put your foot down, another step come, and it's like God just carrying you. It's crazy. When you say you need something, or when talk come like by yeah, by we need this, a call come in or some message come, okay, bam, 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 that come. Like all I could say is God. All I could say is God's grace and goodness. Like, what else I want me to say? If you tell me, what else I could account that for. Timing. Look, like I just say now, God is never early, never late. Always right on time. Always right on time. Just in the just in the nick of time. Just when you need him there. Just when you thought everything was over, just come click that thing up, bloop, everything just shift. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, no joke. Since I started at Coconut Station, it has been like an overwhelming bombard of mixed emotions, because, just pride, proud of getting things done, and of course, love, support, people, coming, showing love, loving what going on, loving the vibes and things. And like I say, oppression, little pushback, you get all of that with it. Haters gonna hate. I think I was talking about this last week and all still, but I still gonna tell it to you again if I did. Like up to yesterday, I talked to my friend and I think I would tell now, like he set out on a purpose, he started a project, him and his family, and start to get pushback. And David was talking about it, and I tell him, like, look, at the end of the day, bro, haters going to hate. That's their job. That's what they have to do. Like, a hater, guess what? Their job description is one word: hate. Hating. Yeah, that's it. That's all it. Look, once you sign up to be a hater, the job is easy. All you gotta do is hate on somebody else. You check? So, like I show him, like, look, haters gonna hate. That's their job. Like, that's just to let you know that you're doing the right thing. That's to show you that, guess what? They just vex that. They ain't think about it. They checking like, but how we think about that? How I ain't think about that? Nah, man, he can't do that because I ain't doing it. Impossible he think of that, and I never think about that. And I write here, and he come and doing that in my head. Nah, we can't let that happen. You check? I gotta hate on that. That's the mentality. You check? So what you gonna do with that? You gonna give your energy to that? You going to bring down your energy, belittle yourself, and worry yourself about the haters, and stress yourself and give yourself sleepless nights and all these things because people worrying about what you're doing. But that's when you need to do what you're doing more. That's when you need to up the ante on them. That what? Oh, that's when, if they thought they were seeing you before, that's when they need to see you more. If they thought you was on a good path before, ooh, talk about increase visibility and responsibility. Yeah, yeah, real talk. We can now, we say, like I say, Coconut Station there now, roadside. So increase visibility. And of course, now as a business operating, responsibility is increased. But of course, nobody don't have to question. I'm going to make sure do things the right way, make sure I compliant, make sure I following the proper regulations and guidelines. You check. That's a no-brainer. You check. Because what? You think I can give you more reason to come and oppress me? Nah. I going to do things the right way so I could still start up and say, bah, yeah. You want to hate on me? Watch. Bye. Bye. Look. Yeah, leader here to do their job. Yeah. You check? Lead and talk. Yes. You check? One thing we gonna stand for. You check? In everything. We gonna be deeply rooted, deeply grounded. You check? And when I say this, understand now. I don't talk this for personal. I talk this for we. I want you to share in this inspiration and motivation. I want you to hear this and feel like, you know what, for real, boy, I need to do this. I need to do what I gotta do. You check? All right. I need to do what I gotta do self. Because what? The haters waiting on you. You don't think they waiting on you too? They want you to come and say, yeah, man, I gonna set up my business. I gonna buy this new car. I gonna build this new house. So they could hate. Lead them to their job, man. Lead them to their job. All of us got a job to do now. So lead them to their job. You check. Real that. Good night to the oracle. Blessings. Of course, you gotta question that. Of course. You check. But yeah, like I say, we the stand firm. Like tonight's episode's title says, standing firm when things get heavy. But yeah, we the stand firm in chaos. We the stand firm. We are deeply rooted. Yeah, we are deeply grounded. Nothing can shake we. And understand, standing firm doesn't mean reacting. It doesn't mean explaining yourself. It means staying disciplined, staying consistent. Like I say, staying grounded. Check. Standing firm sometimes is quiet. For sure, it doesn't argue. It doesn't explain. It just keeps moving. You check? Like all of that shows emotional maturity. One thing I could say, it increases your faith because I look you hear you hear me talk. I telling you, God alone. If all you could tell me they have any other thing I could account for, then God, I listening, I all ears. You check? One thing too, when you stand firm and when you really observe, when you ground yourself, you're able to discern, your discernment grows because it's like some say you get a eagle view or a bird's eye view, a helicopter view, if you will. And you get to analyze things. So you get to understand and see what really in front of you and make educated, smart decisions. Make the right decision. Period. You check. So yeah, knowing when not to speak is honestly a gift. You know, a lot of people don't really have the knowledge of, knowing when and when not to speak. But when you have these different things, that shows leadership. When you have these different characteristics, that shows leadership. You check, but yeah, like blessings, me. Yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, when you really stand firm, when you ground yourself, like I say, all these things, all these resistance, all these things can't move you. Think on these trees that are around you, like the big ones. Let me say it like that. Like the 50, 100-year-old trees. Imagine, think on like how deep their roots going. A lot of them, big hurricane come, they don't even move. Gotta stand firm. Gotta be grounded. You check. Because like I say, trust me, distraction follows intention. When you set out on a purpose, when you set out on some type of path, some type of journey, some type of project or plan you decide you want to fulfill, something, somebody, somehow, some way going to come and try to throw you back and try to throw you off and try make you throw you out of whack. But it's up to you to stay steadfast. It's up to you to stand firm, to stay grounded. The check, only you could do that for you. Nobody else can do that for you. Yeah, maybe you could get like motivation or inspiration from outside forces or sources. But the ultimate decision and the ultimate battle is yours. Nobody can make those final decisions for you when that pressure is really on. So, like I say earlier, We need to reframe that resistance and realize that the resistance is not punishment. And like I say, resistance often appears when you're leveling up. So when you advance in yourself, when you better in yourself, when you say to yourself, you know what? Okay, maybe I'm on this level now, but I want to promote myself. Maybe right now is a customer service, but you want to be a supervisor. Promotion, you're leveling up, you're advancing yourself. The same thing. When you decide you want to level up yourself, normally resistance does follow. Distraction follows intention. Same example. Like I said, you're working a job, maybe your customer service, you're checking, you know what, I want to be a supervisor. What you gotta do? You gotta go study. You gotta find time out your busy schedule. So now you gotta things that get a little more stressful. If not, things that get a little more hectic. Schedule a little more tighter because now you gotta go work, you gotta still find time to study, you got tests to do, exams. But now when you get your certification, when you get your diploma, you level up. I tell you, it's the same thing all across the board with everything. Resistance often appears when you're leveling up. Check. Like I say, that's one of the lines I think stick with me from Myron Golan very deeply. I even had write it down in on a notes, like in a book a time. Like distraction follows intention. When you set out on a purpose, when you set out on a plan, something going to come and try to push you back. Some type of resistance going to follow you, going to meet you, but you gotta really be strong. You gotta push forward. You gotta keep going till you find that little crack, a light at the end of the tunnel that you could see your way out to get out of that tough crevice that you find yourself in. You can't give up because if you give up, what you gonna do? You can just find yourself there. Just stay there in that dark place and perish. Check now. You gotta overcome the adversity for yourself, whether mentally, physically, everything. You have to say, you know what, nah, I going to do better for myself. It's only you going to, and only you can. And until you do that, nothing will move forward in life, in your life. Check. But when you do that, you're gonna see everything gonna really start falling into place. God light can start shining and gonna be like, whoa, how why was I living in this darkness and dismal and turmoil for so long? Why didn't I decide for myself I can do this from long time? But like I say, God's timing is always right on time. He knows. And all of what we go through is what make us who we be. So we have to experience the experiences that mold us, so that when we reach to that point that we could actually overcome. You check? Like the Bible says, study to show yourself approved. Is a similar concept. Is like let me say if your purpose in life is to lift a log that is 50 kilograms a weight. sometime in life, maybe 5 years down the line. And to do that, you have to do 20 push-ups a day until then. But now, maybe you don't do them, maybe you start, maybe you do more some days, you do less some days. You gotta prepare yourself so that when that day comes, you're ready for it. It's just like a job. It's literally just like a job. What do you think? When you go and apply for a job, they ask you for your qualifications before you start a job, before you get a job. They want to know that you could do what they need you to do before you get it, not after. Study to show yourself approved. You check. So you got to prepare yourself. You got to get yourself ready. And that's why we go through the trials and tribulations that we go through in life. Like I say, all those things is to mold us, to create us, to strengthen us so that when we reach that point where we feel like we can't reach that crack, we feel like we can't see that way out and that light at the end of the tunnel, we could, because we have that little resolve, that little push in us to say, nah, I gotta make it, you know? Like, it's a crazy thing, like, not crazy, but yeah, beautiful for sure. Beautiful thing. But yeah, pushback. Pushback is a real thing, a serious thing. But we can't we can't worry ourselves, like I say, we can't worry ourselves with haters. Check. That's the job. Haters, they sign up for that role in life. They say, you know what? Sign me up for that job. I want to hate on these other people that are doing things while I ain't doing nothing. So let them do their job. Check. Like I say, that's what make you know you're doing the right thing. Because if nobody ain't hating, if nobody ain't worrying with you, if nobody ain't telling you nothing, then what are you really doing? Check. If nobody ain't coming saying, bye, what you doing now, Papa? That ain't no sense, bye. You're wasting your time. Then, yeah. A lot of times, those the people are them the talks that will let you know exactly what you're doing is what you need to be doing. Straight up. Check. Straight up. But yeah, like I say, leader haters hate. That's their job. And like I say, pushback is all part of it. So don't even hate or worry about the people that come and pushing you back and giving you oppression, because the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, we wrestle against principalities. They ain't know what they're doing. They know not what they're doing. They're just doing what they feel is right. But what? God's timing. Everything for a reason. So I know we know what you're talking about. Going through a lot of stuff before you reach the promised land. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 40 years and 40 years in the wilderness before you reach to the promised land. Exactly. When they talk like that, tell them thanks for the support. Exactly. They appreciate you. Love alone. Yeah, 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 yeah. Straight up. Straight up. But yeah, so on that point, one thing I say, that's all we need to do for real. Just give gratitude. Check. So I know I know that somebody listening tired. I know that somebody listening feel misunderstood. I know that somebody listening is close to quitting, feeling unseen. But if things feeling heavy right now, don't retreat. Root yourself. Mountains aren't climbed in comfort. It's a tough journey to climb a mountain. Often, right? So if we want to make it to the top, and when I say that, I mean of whatever you want to do. If you want to reach to the finish line, if you want to complete it, reach to that point of celebration for completion. Sometimes it ain't always comfortable. Life for sure. There's throw your curveballs, there's try flip you upside down on your head. Life does have a way of life and it's up to us to just stand firm. It's up to us to stay steadfast. It's up to us to be deeply rooted and stay grounded. You check? Because, yeah, like I say, I know things that get tough. I know things that get heavy. Trust me, for me too. Like I say, this week wasn't easy, but no joke. Like, it is. You get up, go, get material, cut, saw, drill, bolt up, then keep in mind, hot sun beating too. Don't play with that. Next day, same thing. Go, get more material, back and forth, up and down. Go here, go there, go check this, go do that. And then still, after work, still got things to do in the evening. Like I just say, no rest for the weary, but at least I ain't wicked. Yeah. Check, real talk, straight up. No rest for the weary, but at least I ain't wicked. I'm not a wicked man for sure. Check. And yeah, yeah. So you gotta know how to move for sure. Life is chess, not checkers. So you gotta know when they're on your playing field and when things feasible. Life is strategy, To this self, I was in a strategic workshop and understand we should approach life with strategy. We should be doing things with strategy. Check. Anyways, like I say, I know some of us might feel a little defeated right now. Life may be life in heavily, but we can't give up. We gotta stay steadfast and gotta keep pushing because we all have a purpose. We all have a reason to be here. Check. A God-given purpose. So for me, like I say, I just give gratitude despite difficulty. Like I said, I laugh in the face of adversity because what? I know it's just there to build me. I know it's just there to teach me a lesson, to make me stronger, to show me, okay, look, this is how you gotta move. Yeah, wake up yourself. Yeah. You check. So, like I say, gratitude despite difficulty, gratitude for growth, gratitude for awareness, and Gotta give gratitude for protection. God really covering us now, even when it don't feel so. Things could be worse. So yeah, gotta give gratitude. And yeah, not every season is loud. Some seasons are refined. Some seasons are more tranquil. Check. But like I say, I'm grateful even when it's heavy. Like the Bible say, whether I'm abound or a base, I will, be content in whatever state I'm in. So that's the mindset self. You check like whether things rough, whether I in the lion's den or whether I in the green pastures, whether I in the stomach of a humongous fish or sitting beside the still waters. I'm gonna be content because I know something something is happening, you know. It's for a reason. Everything is for a reason. Check. So one thing I say, clarity and realize that these episodes will be like build up, like they just be connected to each other. Yeah, if you really check them out, it's like last week's episode connected to this episode, the one before. Yeah. But yeah, I talk about clarity and I hear to show you we need clarity to know what we want to do, plan what we want to do, and then execute. For me right now, like I say, season of execution, I doing. I ain't wasting no more time thinking and planning and fixing and adjusting and amending and wait. Right now it's doing. Anything else gotta change? It gotta change while we doing. Check. Thing. I ain't gonna lie. I am man. I always had a level of like perfectionist tendencies. I like things done particularly. So like, people like that is have a problem in that you take so long planning, you never get started. You check. You say interview, but you gotta elaborate on that. I know if you're saying you want to be interviewed or if you're asking about an interview. But I mentioned I got interview coming next week, which I can elaborate a little more on at the end. Anyways, yeah, like I say, clarity, plan. Once you plan, execute. When you're executing, you might see some unknown factors that you didn't take into consideration when you were planning. All of that's part of it. You check. So when that arrives, you deal with it accordingly. You check, you don't panic, you don't tell yourself, why, what? I didn't think about this, how this happened, what I do now? No. You just take it light. Say, okay, cool. This what going on, okay. How am I gonna deal with it? This is what I gotta do. Pa, 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 pa. Solution. Solution oriented is the way to go now. Focusing on a problem is never the way. Focusing, just talking. That's one of the biggest problems I'll say for sure here in my country. Everybody could talk about the problem, but nobody coming with solutions and nobody implementing none for sure. But then if you don't come with none, then you don't implement them. Can't implement nothing. It's so funny. Anyways, yeah, but yeah, like I said, I used to be a perfectionist type too. Checking like, but yeah, we gotta get it perfect, else we can execute it. But Yeah, like I say, sometimes it just got some factors that you can't account for, that you can't think about beforehand, and that is just like, yeah, you gotta just do it to find out. Like one of my cousins got saying that I love. He used to say, sometimes you gotta ask for forgiveness instead of asking for permission. Check. And not trying to say like, yeah, go and break laws or do things the wrong way, but it's the truth. Like I even see the other day they had a post I see that was saying like one reason the wealthy stay wealthy is because they know how to bend the law, not to break the rules, but to bend it to their, what's the word I'm looking for? To their positive reward, positive outcome. Yeah. Anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. And like I say, not trying to advocate for doing things the wrong way. But yeah, sometimes you just gotta do it. Like sometimes whatever you want to do, you can't just keep sitting on and waiting and waiting and waiting till you perish. Look, we time don't wait on nobody. Like life is short. Like that's one thing I could see my father show me. Like what happened with my father. I ain't gonna lie. You can like look, you gotta do all them things you saying you want to do. Do them. Do them. Do them. Like Nike, just do it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Real talk. Real talk. We could sit down and say, bye, yeah, bye, I can do that next year, I can do that tomorrow, next week, next month, all we want. But you don't know if you're gonna see next week. You don't know if you're gonna see the next minute. Me? I tell now you. I in my season of execution and I hope you along with me too. I hope you on it too. I hope it ain't just me. I hope, I know I may be a hopeful and wishful guy, but yeah, real talk. Like I doing. I ain't wasting no time. I ain't waiting on nobody permission. I ain't look. I tell you just now, either they get with it or they gonna get run over. Plain and simple now. Either they get with it or they gonna get run over like a train on the track that you cannot stop. Telling you, check so. I need you with that same energy. I need you with that same conquering lion spirit that just nothing can stop we. Why you think the lion is the top in the jungle? Why you think the lion is the king of the jungle? He don't back down from nothing. Whether they bigger than him or not. How you think David beat Goliath? Because he was afraid? Because he was bigger than him? No. He watch him and he say, "Bye, look, I laugh in the face of adversity. It's a joke to me. Knock him down with a little rock. Big man like he with big sword. Knock him down with a little pebble. Good. So this is the mentality we need to be keeping when we doing we things. You check? When anything we put we hands to, we need to have that type of mentality. That conquering lion, that overcoming bigger adversaries, that David overcoming Goliath, that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego overcoming the fire type of energy. Like we gotta be like powerful inside now, like fire now. I tell her, it's a foot on the gas I got right now. A fire under my foot. It's fire, 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 fire. Bio. You ever see like Ghost Rider? How he like just on fire? Just just envision me, just my head on fire right now. Just hot. Hot. We hot right now. Yeah. Real talk. Real talk. Real talk. Check. So, yeah, I telling you. I telling you. Season of execution. I doing it. I doing what I say I do right now. Right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, not 2 years from now. Right now. Last year, we take time to learn ourselves, learn what we like, learn what we don't like. We take time to learn what we want to do, how we want to do it. And now, after we done been planning for so long, you see, last year, last week, Oracle laughed at me, checking like, yeah, 2 years, you say you're going to do this coconut stand. Well, it here now. God bless, God ordained, and God protected. Straight up. The check? Yeah. And I know you don't really laugh at me. I just say like, but still, point being, we say we planning, we say we want to do things, we got plans in we head forever and ever and ever. Plans in here ain't doing nothing. Ideas in here ain't going nowhere. Yeah. Execution. So, whatever you've been thinking about doing, now is the time. Look, a good example, even last week Tuesday, I'll say I had the honor of providing a speech, let me say a semi-small workshop on podcasting. So I was requested to come and give a speech on podcasting. It was online on Zoom, but very impactful, you know. Few people checking like, yeah, they self feel like, they might start a podcast soon too. They checking good. That's what I want to hear. People have ideas. People have things they want to say. People have things they want to do. But it's just we inside we own head keeping ourselves back now. That'll be the main thing now. I telling you now. I asking you. Sometimes yes, it just be like, yeah, maybe you tell it to somebody and then they maybe like talk it down and like shoot it down. So that discourage you. Yeah, that'll happen sometimes. But a lot of times it'll be we. Like I said last week, I my biggest critic. That's why I tell you, I had perfectionist tendencies so strong. It used to like kind of hamper me because you starting nothing because you so want to fix it and get it perfect before it start that the time you check start time, so much time pass, you don't lose interest on that self. Check. What? Nah, not Oliver. Not no more. Oliver is executing. Check. So just know Oliver is doing, and I want to see you doing too. And anything you're doing, you could send it to me. You check? I want to see. I would love to see. Yeah. Send me a nice picture. Send me a screenshot. Check it. Yeah, I just get certified. Yeah, I doing this. Yeah, bam, bam. I just start up my little project there. Bam, bam, bam. I love it. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear how you tell me how you doing things. I don't I don't care about Oliver like that. I know what Oliver doing. I am Oliver. I know what Oliver doing. You check? Yeah. I can share it with her, of course. Yeah, but I want to hear what are you doing? You check. That's why I don't love these interviews. Check, like I said, tomorrow I got one. Don't worry, I'll talk about it just now, just now, just now. Don't worry. But yeah, like I said, tomorrow, next week I got an interview. I think I just said tomorrow. Next week. Next week Monday. And I like the interviews because you get different perspective for sure. And I like that it'll still be motivational and inspirational, but not just a different perspective, but just interaction that brings out a lot more and gives more value. And like I say, for me, it has been nice to get to know what other people doing, see how they advancing they self in life. You know, look, man, look, I just started another youth club. I love it. That's what we need to be doing. Yeah, get the youth STEM involved. Everybody complaining the youth STEM ain't doing nothing, the youth STEM bad and all these things. Make them do something. The youth's idle. That's the main problem. Root cause idleness. Yeah. So that's a good combat. That's a good start. I love that. You check? But yeah, like I tell you, I love that. I love that Oracle. And you there listening, whatever you're doing, keep it up. Don't stop it. Stay consistent. Keep pushing. Even if right now it might seem like it ain't paying off. Look, I could say that about this podcast. Like if I was a different person, if I used to listen to people, if I I might not be doing this podcast no more. But then I wouldn't have had the opportunity to go and speak to other people, inspire them to do it for themselves too. Like, so like you can't give up on yourself. You can't give up on your purpose. Like what you really meant to do, you're gonna find your way to it. And when you reach there, you're gonna be like, whoa, this is what I've been waiting for all my life. Like what I've been doing with my life all my life. But like I say, you just have to build yourself to reach there. You check. Because maybe if I had just say I'm gonna do podcasting like 5, 10 years ago, I might have come on and be talking all kind of gibberish and here what are you? Might have be talking nonsense, might have get cancelled and all. But God know. God know our hearts, God know our spirit. And like I say, his timing is always right on time. And yeah, all we gotta do is stay consistent, stay composed, you check, and to kind of summarize my lesson from today. We gotta stand firm, not react, but we gotta stand firm even when things get heavy, when things get chaotic. We need to be grounded, we need to be deeply rooted so that we can easily overcome the oppressions and adversities that come our way. You check? Because we will get pushback for sure. For sure. Resistance often follows when you set out by your purpose. Check. So don't hate it, just appreciate it. Let that be your fuel to know that you're on the right path. Check. Let that be your reminder that that's the growth. That's how you know you're growing. Check. You don't need to explain your growth. All you need to do, stay consistent, stay composed, and keep doing you. Keep doing your thing. Nobody can be you. Like, I think I gotta start pulling back out that mug. Somebody give me a mug. I'll say a mentor, man. Give me a mug once that says, nobody is you. And that's your superpower. Simple like that. And it's facts. You check like all of us is a hero because we are who we are. You check. We made like nobody else, all of us unique in our own way. Something about us unique. Yes, as humans, as man and women, of course, we have numerous traits alike. Check. But and you know what I mean? Like men have numerous traits the same and women have numerous traits the same. You know what I mean? Respectively. Yeah. Right. Good. Good. We get no confusion here. Right. No. But yeah, still we're unique. We are our own self. Nobody can be us. Check. And that's a beautiful thing. God really know what he do. Down to like the finest minuscule detail, like this like molecular level. Man, proper, properly detailed. And I guess that's why that we try to be so structured and proper because it's like that's how God approach everything. Telling you, when you really sit down and observe all the things he do, it's wondrous. Telling you, it'll be like, whoa, how you do that? Like, how you walk that so? How that walk out so? Anyways, yeah, that being said, that was the end of my lesson for today. Like I say, we gotta stand firm when things get heavy. Sure. Yeah. Like I say, by this week was a trying week, but this week started on a last week then. Let me say that last week was a trying week, but this week start out on a good foot. So we're gonna keep that momentum for sure. You know, and as per usual, went out handle business up to today, up and down. Telling you, went by this office, that office. Siri, bless up. Yeah, man. Do a lot. Been around, but getting things done. That's a positive thing, you know. Making things happen. We ain't just spinning wrong and wrong and wrong in a circle. We advancing. Yeah. But yeah, though, like I said, I gotta encourage all you to stay consistent, man. I know what you're doing, but what you're doing, stay consistent. I like the how you say a starter. Another, let me make sure specify another youth club or other big vibe self. And you are a good role model for themselves. Maybe a little radical when you're ready. But need that sometimes too. But yeah, so like I was saying though, earlier, next week. Next week gonna be a big episode. Next week, tell a friend to tell a friend, share. I ain't gonna lie, I gonna yes, I can say it now to hold myself accountable. I going to be starting promoting this next episode from tomorrow now to show you like all I like like okay. Tell me what are you think? I just be checking like I can't promote like let me say like today I have this episode 40. I can't promote episode 41 before episode 40 because then that can cause confusion. I feel like people gonna be thinking by which one to join and which one is which, So that's why others kind of do by the week, you know. and try to do it, if anything, by the latest the day of. But rightfully, I ain't gonna lie, wrong for that. Shouldn't be the day of. Should be at least 2 days before, if not the day before. Rightfully, best practice is send out one early and then a reminder one maybe the day before. So let me say like how the podcast is Monday. Maybe I send out one like Thursday, checking like, yeah, next episode is this and this and this. And then maybe Sunday or maybe Monday morning, like I would do. Send out like, yeah, episode, next episode, bam, bam, bam. But yeah, anyways, yeah, for me, I feel like I can't say like, yeah, because there's an interview coming up, I can post it before the next episode, you know. But anyways, that's my back end stuff. Yeah, you don't gotta worry about that. Just say, let me say it. I know if you had any comments or suggestions in that regard. But anyways, yeah, like I say, just thinking out loud, I guess. But yeah, next week, big episode, big episode. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. You will get value. I promise you. Next week episode, come with your notepad. Next week episode will be a big one. You don't want to miss it. Come with your notepad. I will be interviewing Ife Badijo of Islandpreneur, founder and owner of Islandpreneur. Ife is an AI analyst, marketing expert, and just all around business professional, consultant, advisor. Very, 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 very professional person. And I telling you, I promise you, I asking you, I telling you, you ain't gonna want to miss it. For sure, whatever you're doing in your life, whatever stage of life you in, something if they're going to say are going to affect you and better your life. I tell you right now, if you're giving trainings, whereas she doing AI automation trainings, whereas she automating, like you would go in there and in 4 hours you leaving with automation. So like you, like literally, like you must leave with some type of value. You know, like me, I just give her a value too. Most times verbal inspiration and things like that. But I also just come with little AI tips and give advice and things, financial and these different things. But what I telling you, next week episode, you don't want to miss it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I don't say that for joke, for fun. Telling you, you're gonna want your friend they are hearing it too. I telling you, tell them, call them from today. Tell them, look, I was listening to All Over It podcast today, and he say next week, Ife. Yeah, just tell them just like that. Look, we're gonna be talking about some good stuff. Talking about AI, business, different things. And yeah, like I say, I ain't gonna give all the details. You're gonna see soon what it's all about. And yeah, bottom line, like I say, come on, come on, come on. So yeah, like I said, today is episode 40. Next week, episode 41 will be an interview with Ife Barijo. And yeah, do all our YouTube, social media stuff. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all of it. Do all of it. Like literally when you start, just go down the line. Just Yeah. Come on, counter. Yeah. Just so. Matter of fact, what am I doing? Let me see, let me see, let me see, let me see. Let me get up for you. Got that for you. Got that for you.
Money.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyways, love alone, my people. Like I say, do all social media stuff. Tell a friend about next week episode. You don't know. We coming with good things every time. Every time. I making sure bring out your value from since I start this podcast. Check. Boa. Next week. Next week. February 9th. Mark your calendar. You know I miss it. I telling you, look, maybe it might seem like I doing too much, but I telling you, you know I miss it now. I telling you, I promise you. Telling you. Check so share with someone who needs to hear this. And when you share it with them, tell them next week if they come on. Tell them, look, they ain't want to miss all over it podcast. All over is all over. All over it. And I uncovering it all right here on this live with you. Live and direct. We ain't pre-recorded. We right here live. I right here seriously live saying this while you hearing it. So I ain't recorded last week and put it up. I ain't recorded a couple days ago and put it up. Nah, this is me here now with you right now. See you, Carol. Blessings. Check. Yeah. So tell a friend to tell a friend. One thing I got to give you gratitude and thanks. Thanks to this community. Thanks to this community that we have been building and how I could say I've been seeing how it has grown and continues to grow. And a blessing. So, yeah, it's God's grace and blessings over ourselves. Check. But yeah, though. Anyways, on that note, about to wrap up my people. I really hope you have a good, blessed week ahead and that you have that conquering lion spirit to go out and take on whatever it is life sent at you. Take life by the hands and ride it. Yeah, 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 yeah. We ain't leaving nothing ride. We riding it. Yeah, straight up. Straight up. Check. So if you want to feel motivated and inspired once again, you could go back, listen to this video, telling you gonna feel it. I ask you, I tell you. So once this live ends, the playback is available right there one time, ready for you. Go back, check it out. Whole thing if you want. You do what you want to do, what you feel comfortable with. But yeah, whoever that is, I wish you all the best. And I wish you all of God's graces. Like I said, I wish you positive, blessed, prosperous, and productive week ahead. Check. And for me, I am be handling business as per usual. That won't stop. Every day God sent. I'm telling you, even on the weekends. like after this week I had, tell myself by a weekend and take it like still that kind of thing I do this weekend. No rest for the weary. But at least I'm not wicked. Check. But yeah though, my lovely people, my family, I wish you a blessed evening onwards. I wish you abundant blessings and yeah, God's grace to you. Check. Have a blessed one. Catch me here next week for the next episode of the All Over It podcast, where we're going to be uncovering it all with Ife Badejo. Yeah. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Interview with Ife next week. Yeah. Check. Yeah. Love. Love and blessings, my people. Have a blessed one. I can see you next week. You don't know.